Okay, this video is going to be for the visual in part 2, starting at measure 88. So this is the 6 measures of drill that you guys have, the pancake visual. So you're marching here, so that's going to help you keep time. So the first thing that you need to do is on count 1 of this measure, 88. You need to flip up to port. So it's just a regular port. Make sure you do really sharp flip up, because that's going to help you with this next movement. Because from here, on count 3, you're just going to let the cymbals fall out of your hands, kind of similar to doing a down flip, but instead of flipping it, you're going to unload them and just catch them where you do, like right at our belly button in the plate position. So a front view of it is from port here. You just let them go over, and you just catch it. And your goal to make sure you have the most control is that you catch it right in the middle of the pad, really similar to how we do that other visual where we unload straight from set. Where you catch it there, right in the middle of the pad, should be where you catch it from port. A little tip is that if it doesn't exactly work out that way for you, and you don't like your hand is too far off of the center of the cymbal, I always just do a very small hop of my hand. Nothing that like makes the cymbal move, but just something that allows me to get a better handle on the cymbal. I also kind of pull it in to my stomach a little bit, just so it gives it another anchor, so that way the cymbal doesn't fall off in any direction, and I'm able to steady my hand and the cymbal's movement against it, so it's easier for me to handle that. So again, you go count 1, measure 88, you go to a port. Count 3, you unload to the unloaded plate position, and you should be here by count 1 of the next measure. And this measure, you do nothing, so it's 4 counts of nothing. And then this is where the individual pancakes start. So Mariana, you are going to do the first pancake on your left hand. Each pancake for each of you should take 2 counts in each direction, so it just goes 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the next one. So it'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, Gretchen 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then that's the end of your individual pancakes. Remember with the pancakes that you need to be using a lot of your finger muscles, because just using your wrist alone isn't going to get it all the way flat. Because ideally, when we're doing a pancake, we need it to be flat like a pancake, which is horizontal, not vertical. So you need to use a lot of your finger muscles to give that extra energy to make sure that the pancake is happening. When this visual is at show tempo, that's a lot easier because it's a lot more natural to go at 172 than if you're repping it at like 150 with this, because it's a lot harder to control how fast the pancake is going. But I want you guys to rep this slow so you get the fundamentals of how to do a really good pancake, because the visual's not going to be worth it if we have 4 of you and all 4 of your hands look different depending on how comfortable you are with the pancake. So I really want you guys to break this down, and like when you have time to like maybe just even sit there, like I usually, when I'm watching TV or something, I will just pick up my cymbal and I'll just do pancakes, because it's a super small visual that doesn't really like take up a lot of space moving wise, and you don't have to like really worry about anything in your immediate area hitting the cymbal. So it's just really easy fundamental trick that you can practice, and it can round off into a lot of other stuff, and it can help clean this visual a lot easier. So you don't have to always be in a practice setting. You can always just be like casually at home practicing it this way. Anyway, back to the visual itself. You each do, after holding for a measure, you each do a pancake on the individual hand, starting with Mariana on her left hand, then her right, then Gretchen on your left hand, and then your right. And then after that, you do all of your hands together, so it just looks like this, just 1, 2, 3, 4, and you catch them again. If you need to do that little hop to kind of get them in place, that is where you would need to do it, because this next part is the ripple part. And Mariana starts this ripple with her left hand, and you just pop the cymbals up, and you just go left-right motion. So you go like this. Try to like do it so that the pop that you put on it actually pulls the strap, and that kind of feels like a jerking motion when you come back down. And so after you do that, you just move your hand down, and the cymbal knot fits right into your hand, so it's loaded, and then you end up right here. See if I can do a closer explanation of it, because it's a bit far away in this video. So you have your hand unloaded like this, and you just pop it up, and on that move down, there's no stop. It's a smooth, gradual motion, and all your hand does is it just goes pop up, and then it just comes down like this. So pop up, comes just down, so your palm is facing away and back from you. And there shouldn't be any flip motion to the cymbal. It should just be the cymbal moving up, and then the cymbal moving back down. So from like this perspective, if you were looking at it from like a bird's eye view from up top, this part of the cymbal, when you're coming down, needs to come down, and that's how the cymbal knot is going to hit in between your thumb and your pointer finger to be reloaded back in with the least amount of effort and like the most ease in this case. So it just pops up, and then you just come here. I know like a way for me to keep this so that way it doesn't like bounce around, because if I leave my hand open like this, you'll notice that when the cymbal reloads, it doesn't stay in that flat position where the pad is facing out. It goes like this. So I usually scrunch my pointer finger and my thumb closer together, and then use the rest of my fingers around the edge that's right after the pad to hold it in place, because your fingers and your wrist here, how strong those are really going to determine how this looks when you get it loaded. Because if I don't put any effort into what I'm doing with my wrist or my fingers, it's going to end up like this. And your arm's going to swing back, and your cymbal's not going to stay in spot, and it's going to make everything look dirty, no matter how on time it is count-wise. Because if there's still extra movement going on, then it's not defined. There's dirt to it. So you just do a pop up. Try to close those fingers. I guess sometimes I do like this kind of motion with my cymbals. If that helps you, do it. But like, make it a meme, I guess, if you have to, if that works. But you use that finger strength to hold that cymbal in place, and you do the same thing with the other hand. And it just happens in a ripple motion. You just go left, right, and you just hit it right here. And it should be in line with the hem of your pants. It should just be like if you are at set and you just rotate the cymbals outward. And remember what we talked about before, Mariana, if you miss the ripple does not happen because you are the start of the ripple. And in that case, you have to find a new way to get to your crash, but I would prefer that you guys just end up doing the ripple. So Mariana, always make sure that you're ready for that ripple and be counting, and if anything, like that is your most important spot in this entire visual for you as an individual. So after this ripple that I'll demonstrate one half of, because I'm only one person, right on count one of the following measure, you snap to set. So this entire ripple should be done within 4 counts, so one measure. So you just do ripple, 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 1. Gretchen, this will be pretty fast for you because the way it should line up is that you should probably just be ending it, and then you just probably snap to it. So there's not going to be much space for you. Mariana, there should be a bit more space for you. So it's very important that, Mariana, you count so that way you don't miss it, and that, Gretchen, you're very on point with what you're doing here, what you're doing in the ripple. There really isn't room for you to do any extra motion and be able to get to this snap on time. So really start perfecting how you're doing that, like bounce and reload back in. So you're here, you go set, you're at set, and you're here for one measure, and then you flip up, because this This is after 94. This is the fourth measure of those 4 measures of nothing. So you're flipping up for that crash on 98, that flat crash. So you flip up on 1, and then you prep on 4. See that crash right on 98. That is that visual, and I will do that in a slowed down version from 2 angles just to give you guys a reference point. So how that's going to work, and I'll just do Mariana's half of the visual. Again, I'm only one human. It will work like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Or actually, I want to clarify something really quick. Sorry. So when I'm doing the pancakes here, at this tempo, I'm doing them pretty fast. I'm going 1, 2, 3, 4. Nothing's happening on 3, 4. At 172, your guys' pancakes should be taking up an entire measure. They should be going 1, 2, 3, 4. But at how slow I'm doing, I can't go that fast while doing a good pancake. So just know that for referencing this video, at show tempo, your pancake should be taking the entire 4 counts. It should be going 2 counts one direction and 2 counts back, and then your next hand goes. So with that said, I'm going to redo the visual. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Together. 2, 3, 4. Ripple, 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 ripple. 1, 2, 3, 4. Flip. 2, 3. Prep. 98. And that's how that works. And I'll give you a side view. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Together. 2, 3, 4. Ripple, 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 ripple. Up. 2, 3, 4. Flat. 2, 3. Prep. 98. As another side note, I was starting off with my right hand, but make sure that you guys are starting off with your left, because that is how, drill-wise, that is the most aesthetic of it. Ways to do that, to make it look nice and pretty with the drill. And that is the visual in part 2 at measure 88.